What's going on? We got Giants preseason, week 2, Texans. Let's get into it. What's going on, everybody out there? Listen, it was an interesting game today. Didn't go as much as we planned, but I got a lot to talk about. But first, before we get started, I just wanted to ask that everybody like and subscribe to Born for Sports. I would appreciate it. And, show me some love out there. Now, this game wasn't the way we saw last week, that's for sure. Definitely wasn't. The Giants backups second half did not play well, but let's be honest, this is more about what we wanted to see from the starters and what we wanted to see from Daniel Jones. And what we saw today was not good. And I expected rust, but there were some things that went on that were ugly. The man hasn't played in 9 months, and he's getting used to new weapons, new receivers. But at the end of the day, it wasn't what we Giant fans wanted to see. But we have to be patient and see what happens, even though we've seen this act before. We've seen what Daniel Jones has done in the past for whatever reasons you want to give. But what I was encouraged with was a lot of other things that happened around Daniel Jones that we're going to get into. So I'm just going to start it off with things that I like today in the Texans game. The Giants, they played Detroit last week it was a backups game. At the end of the day, it was a backups game, but at the end of the day, they played well, point of attack and everything. Today was the real test. This was the real test to see what we were going to see. When we play better competition, that Houston Texans team is going to be a good team in the AFC. They're might be even Super Bowl contenders, and they were ready to play. We were on the road, so at the end of the day, this was a test, and we got just what we look for, a test. So I'm just going to say they lost 28-10, but obviously the story is a starting play. The offensive line, I thought, on things that I like today on the offense, okay? The offensive line point of attack was very good, I thought. And that's encouraging because let's be honest, it always starts with point of attack with the Giants, and it has not been good for a long time, especially last year. It really wasn't, It really wasn't good. 85 sacks last year. We know the story. A lot of guys got hurt. The backup depth wasn't good. The coaching on the offensive line wasn't good. And we saw last week a little taste of what we thought was an improved unit. Brasillo was coaching his butt off. He really was. He was coaching his butt off in doing this with the backup. So we wanted to see the starters. JMS came back today. I thought he looked good. They limited his snap count. I think he got like 15 snaps today. But the only player that didn't play that was a starter on the offensive line was Runyon, who they held out. So Stinney, I believe, took his place. And I thought that the offensive line as a whole played pretty damn good. And that's encouraging as a Giant fan, especially someone like me who I'm a little old school, I guess, but I'm all about point of attack, man. And when you're a team that gives up 45 sacks last year, that has to be a necessity of an improvement there, okay? We all know the story there. So I thought the offensive line point of attack was very good today. Good pass protection. They kept Jones clean basically most of the time in the first half because as the offensive starters played basically the half. They did a good job, I thought, point of attack. Now I know that the Texans were without their two top rushers in Danielle Hunter and Anderson. I get that. But you as a Giant fan, it's levels and it's steps, man. We got to get work up. I'm not here to say they're going to be a top 3 to 5 offensive line this year, but with the weapons we got on this offense, at receiver. Solid, I think a solid running back by committee core there, especially when Tracy gets healthy. Okay. Some solid tight ends. I think that this offensive line can really, really make sure that this offensive process and the operation of the offense gets run with Brian Dable calling these plays and make it easier for Daniel Jones to play better. And it's as simple as that. You know, if Daniel Jones can't play better with this offensive line, then that excuse is gone now. Because I believe that they are a solid unit. So I thought they played well today. They kept them clean. It wasn't a lot of rushes coming at them, you know. And also in the run game, the run game was pretty good, man. The run game, I thought the run game was solid as well. You know, looking at these numbers here, you know, Singletary had a decent game, but I just thought that they knocked them off the ball, man. They knocked them back off the ball, and it was good to see. It was really, really, really good to see. So that gets me excited as a Giant fan that this offensive line played well against a solid defensive unit. Again, I know they didn't have their two top pass rushers, but that's a solid defense over there, even though, and point of attack is an emphasis here. So I thought they would have starred the show today on the offense. You know, they were really good. So that gets me very excited as a Giant fan to see that they can be better. Okay. Also, I thought Darius Slayton had a real good game today, man. He really did. He had a good game, man. You know, I think we overlook Darius Slayton a lot. You know, I think we do. We overlook him because of the weapons that we have. And I'm not here to say Darius Slayton is like some great receiver we got, but he's reliable. And he actually has chemistry with Daniel Jones. You know, something that Daniel Jones has to build with the current core receivers that he has in Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson and within Jalen Hyatt. So I thought Darius Slayton had a solid game today. You know, he shows he still has chemistry with Daniel Jones, even though Daniel Jones was out and didn't have a good game today. You know, he caught a 44-yard deep bomb. That's Darius Slayton for you. He'll give you a big play. You know, he'll give you one if you allow it. He will give you one. You know, 44-yard pass was a good throw by Jones there. Hit him in stride. So Darius Slayton had a solid game. I believe he finished with 3 catches, 59 yards total. But solid game for him, and it was good to see. You know, it was good to see that that chemistry with him and Jones is still there. So very encouraging on that front. Malik Neighbors. Hey, guys, he got a target. He actually got a freaking target. You know, how about that, Mr. Drew Lock? You might want to think something.
I like you a lot.
I mean, like at the end of the day, he is the 6th overall pick. You think you want to get him the ball, Drew Lock, but Daniel Jones, they looked like they were trying to get him the ball, and that was encouraging. I thought he had the best highlight of the day of the game with for the offense. He made a great spinning highlight film catch on a back shoulder pass at the last drive at the end of the half. You know, that catch radius is serious, man. This kid is really talented. I am all in on Malik Neighbors. If you've been listening to me on this channel, if you've been listening to the NYG Lieutenant Show, I've said it. I am all in on Malik Neighbors for a big year as a rookie, and I believe he's going to be the best rookie receiver in this draft class when it's all said and done. I really like that kid. He had a great little splash play there with that catch. Finished overall with 4 catches, 59 yards. You know, he even had an end around for 5-yard gain. The tools are there, man. He could have caught a pass on that first drive. I thought he should have had when Daniel Jones threw a sideline pass on a deep ball. He had made a good move to beat press at the line of scrimmage, I believe on Stingley, and he was open and he had his hands on it. It looked like I don't know if he kind of lost it out there in the sun or something, but he did a little adjustment, try to one-hand it and couldn't hold on to that. So that's something that he gotta make a play like that more often than not. And I think more often than not this year, that kid's going to make plays like that to where it even turns into routine after a while. And so, a lot of promise showed by Malik Neighbors today, I believe. And I'm telling you, man, I think there's big things ahead for him, man, in this offense with Brian Day.
I love it.
I sure love it too. So good game for him. Devin Singletary, man, I think he had a solid game too, man. I really did. I really like what I saw from him. First action of the preseason. He didn't play last week. Very patient with his runs, physical, tough runs. Wasn't doing no dancing around. Saquon wasn't doing no dancing. He was just one cut, hitting that hole, and physical, and every time kept falling forward, and that's what you like to see. I really like what I saw from Singletary. I think he's going to be a good, solid addition to the running back room, and obviously he is definitely the starter right now. He is definitely the starter. I really on record saying I really like Tyrone Tracy. And I wouldn't be surprised if sometime during the season, like if Singletary maybe gets injured for a couple of weeks, or, not that I'm wishing that, God forbid, of course, or, ineffectiveness or whatever. I definitely could see Tracy down the road by the end of the season getting more snaps and maybe even starting for this team. But I really like what I saw from Singletary, man. He plays solid back. Solid football. People forget he had about 900 yards rushing in that Houston Texans offense last year with a rookie quarterback. As good as TJ Stroud is, he still is a rookie quarterback last year. And hey, he went out there and he had 900 yards for that team. Had a nice year for them. So, looks like the Giant running back room committee is going to be okay without Saquon Barkley. So you can see what the plan is there. They're gonna use them all at times during the game. Gray will get some touches. When Tracy's able to come back and healthy, he'll be in the mix. But Singletary right now is definitely the starter, and good to see him, mix it up and get in there. He really did. He really did look good to me. But I thought the star of the offense was the offensive line, man. And that to me, and we'll get to Daniel Jones in a minute, guys. We will get to Daniel Jones in a minute, as bad as he played at most of the game. But I think the offensive line is the star of this game for this offense, because they're showing that they are an improved unit, and that is only good news for this New York Giant team. All right. So let's go to the things that I did not like on offense. Obviously, it's Daniel Jones. He didn't play well. Obviously, he's rusty, and he didn't play well. Both things can be true. I know I didn't even go to Twitter or none of that, because I know what the takes are going to be. Daniel Jones is the worst quarterback of all time, and all of this and that and this and that. And listen, y'all know me. I am not the biggest believer in Daniel Jones right now. I'm still on the fence trying to see what we do, and I'm not expecting like the biggest jump in the world, but I am hoping for the best, because I am a big blue believing Giant fan who just wants to win. So whatever I feel, I am rooting for him to do well, because he is a New York Giant. It's always about the front of the jersey for me. So I'm hoping he does step up. But today was not a good performance. First of all, the first play of the game was not good. I mean, he should have threw an interception. I mean, he threw it right to him. It was a bad read, threw it right to him, and it should have been an interception. It was dropped. He was looking for neighbors. And he had 2 interceptions in this game. 11 of 18 for 138 yards was the final stats, with 2 interceptions in this game. I thought that he finished better in the second quarter than the way he started. He got into a rhythm. He started looking for Slayton and Neighbors more. I feel like he got better as the half went on, to be fair. Now, it was against mostly their backups that were in the game. It wasn't their starting defense. But, hey, when you miss 9 months due to injury, you're going to have rust. He didn't play the first game. He hasn't played in 9 months. He's trying to get timing going down with his team. Listen, you got to go out there and expect some things that are not going to look crisp. But the decisions, man. The decisions on the first quarter were so bad, man. I mean, he threw an ugly pick six. I mean, it was ugly. It looked like it looked like he was a rookie or something. You know, it was really bad, man. I mean, he threw it right to. First of all, he held the ball too long in the end zone. Okay, he held it too long. When you're in the back up and when you're backed up in the back of your end zone, you got to have that clock going on. And again, if you know the issues with Daniel Jones in the past, it's been his clock, pocket awareness. You know, he doesn't feel pressure enough and stuff like that, or hold the ball too long because of that. I felt like he held the ball way too long, and you backed him in your own end zone. Just throw the ball away, bro. Throw the ball away. That's all you had to do. And instead, he throws a terrible pass right into the flat. Easy pick six from the safety, Petrie, or whatever the dude's name is. It was just bad, man. It was just bad. Those are the kind of plays that drive you mad as a Giant fan over the years with Daniel Jones. Okay. And I know he improved his interception turnover rate the last few years and stuff like that. But even though every now and then he has sometimes one of those kind of plays. And that's the stuff that drives you crazy, man. But during the game, in the second quarter, he actually started making better throws, better decisions. Again, it was against the backups, but it's on tape and it's reps that he needs. It's only preseason, so we take it for what it is, but he got better. And those are the plays and throws that say, maybe if, maybe Brian Dable can work with him and we can win with him or whatever. So, that pick six was just disgusting. I mean, that's just something us Giant fans, we do not want to see going forward when the games count at all, and that's the bottom line. The second interception was just, I felt like was an underthrown deep pass to Hyatt. It was underthrown. It was supposed to be a back shoulder throw deep because Stingley was with him, but it looked like to me Hyatt had half a step. And if you throw that ball up a little bit towards the back shoulder area and loft it a little bit, Hyatt could have got to that ball, or worst case scenario, it could have went out of bounds. Instead, he underthrows it. Stingley grabs the ball, gets an interception. So, those can be attributed to, first of all, a good play by the corner. Stingley made a good play. But also, timing issues and reps with his receivers. That can go into that. I'm pretty sure those are things that they're working on in training camp. And he's got to work on that because that's a play that, you have your receiver. That's open in the NFL, basically. The athletes are too good in the NFL, man. The corners, they're good lockup corners out there, and you're not going to fool them with just straight line speed and stuff like that. Stingley was there, but Hyatt has enough speed to where you should never underthrow that kid. I'm sorry, you can't. You should never underthrow him unless it's designed to be underthrow, okay? Throw that ball up, back shoulder. It's a completion. Worst case scenario, you could have been a touchdown, but worst case scenario, incomplete, out of bounds. You move on to the next play. So I'll attribute that more to reps with his weapons and rust. So it is what it is. But the first play of the game should have been an interception, and that pick six at the end and backed up in the goal line was just two ugly plays. You got to be better than that, Daniel Jones. I don't care if you're missing 2 months, 10 months. 2 years. You can't make that decision. Not 6 years in the league. Okay. So ugly game for Daniel Jones. Ugly game. I just felt like that was what happened in the offense that I did not like. I thought the point of attack was good. I thought the running backs did good, and I thought the receivers did pretty good today too. But also I want to say that in regards to the back shoulder stuff, it looked like Daniel Jones in that second quarter started throwing more back shoulder passes to give his receivers chances. Neighbors caught a couple of those, especially that spectacular one at the end of about the second quarter. And there was also another one he threw to Jalen Hyatt that Hyatt made, I thought, a spectacular one-handed catch on an adjustment. But apparently he got his toe on the line and it was ruled out of bounds. But I thought that was a very good catch and play by Hyatt, and good decision there by Daniel Jones. So listen, at the end of the day, both can be true. Rust and bad play has to get better. Has to get better. So we'll see going forward with Daniel Jones. But, he's got to be better, man. Bottom line, he's got to be better, man. Those are the things I did and didn't like on the offense. Now, you get to the defense, man. Get to the defense. Things I liked about the defense against the Texans. The first team starters point of attack on the defensive line I thought was very good. Very good. That's a solid team over there on offense. Very solid team. They got weapons. They got an all-world second-year player in C.J. Stroud at quarterback. Good offensive line. And I thought the defensive line played very well, considering what they were going against, man. It wasn't like dominant defensive performance today because obviously it's preseason. Nobody's game planning. And that's a pretty good offense out there, but I thought that they held their own, man, in the time that they were going against the ones of the Texans, man. I thought Kayvon Thibodeau, he did a good job today on that edge, man. Setting the edge. There was a play he made on, I believe it was 2nd and goal on that drive that they got in the red zone. It was a 2nd and goal play, and there was a run, and he set the edge well. He disengaged with the offensive tackle after set the edge, and then he made the play. That's what you want to see from Kayvon Thibodeau. You want to see him also be more of a complete player and set that edge better. Talked about this in the past. I'm not worried about his pass rush. It's more about him becoming more of a complete player. I feel like some of that you can attribute those struggles on the edge, setting the edge and against the run with Wink Martindale's scheme last year, dropping them back in coverage, just having them rush the passer, playing tricks with the offensive line and quarterbacks. We all know how Wink Martindale is. He does not care about the run as he should. So Bowen, it's a necessity. I believe he talked about this week in his presser this week about how we have to become better at stopping the run this year. And statistically speaking, his defenses are pretty good against the run. So I felt like Tibbs showed that he can do the job, man. He had a solid game, man. He had a solid game. Also, I love that drive where we stopped them on 4th and goal. There was a third and goal where I thought that Tibbs got in there with a good rush, forced Stroud to flush out the pocket. And I think Chapman was also in on that too as well. Chapman we'll get to in a minute. But it was on 3rd and goal, and I think the penalties offset. It was 2 offsetting penalties on both ends of it. I think a pass interference on us and a holding that he drew as well. So Chapman drew, so I believe. So good rush there on Tibbs. We all know he's got that, man. He's got the pass rush skills. It's just him becoming a complete player and getting better as a player overall. I really believe that he has the tools. That 4th and goal, first of all, I have said in the past that I feel like this is going to be the best defensive line in due time in this division this year. With Dexter Lawrence, who's all pro, all world, you know that. Kayvon Thibodeau going into his 3rd year, getting better as a player, and you bring in Brian Burns, who's one of the best young pass rushers in football on the edge. Man, I tell you, I really feel like they're going to be a problem for most offenses every week, man. And I'm telling you, if we could just get consistency stopping that run, it's going to open up a lot. It's an old school saying, you got to stop the run to earn the right to rush the passer. And, hey, this is a good thing, man. This is a good thing. There was a 4th and goal play that I loved. Burns on a rush, quick spin move, affected Stroud where he had to step up. Thibodeau was around there too. Chapman pushing the pocket, and Dex bats the ball, stops him on 4th and goal. That was the best play of the night for the defense. The best play. That 1st and goal to the 4th and goal. That whole sequence was the best plays of the defense today. So I feel like the stars of the show was that defensive line point of attack, man, on defense. They were really good. They were really good. And could be a preview of what's to come, man. Could be a preview of what's to come this year for this Giants defense, because I really feel like there's talent there. There's questions there, but there's talent in that front seven, man. There's talent, and I believe that we're going to be good in that front. Bobby Okereke was all over the field, making tackles, stuffing runs. I've said many times, this dude is so underrated, man. He is one of the best middle linebackers in football. He proved that last year. Should have been a Pro Bowler last year, I believe. He's got better talent around him now. He's going to make plays, man. Keep that man healthy because, boy, I believe a better year is coming for him. Michael McFadden had a couple of plays. We'll get to him in a minute. But I really love what I saw in the point of attack. This Giant defense is becoming tougher and more physical. And if the offensive line plays keeps getting better and the defensive line play keeps getting better, then you know what? We're on the way being back to Giants, the New York Giants we all know and love, man. Tyler Nubin had a nice little play too. I thought he was active. You know, didn't make a lot of tackles, but I thought he was active. I thought he was, when he got his snaps in there, you know, he started today. Bowen actually put him in today and had him start. That was quick. After saying Dane Belton it was his job to lose at the time when Nubin was hurt, I guess Mr. Bowen saw what we all saw last week against Detroit and said, this dude Nubin looks different. He looks special. Like he can be a real big problem in his defense with time. So, you know, he got the start today. I thought he was active. Didn't make a lot of tackles or whatever, but I thought he was active around the ball a lot. He had a good blitz that he actually forced a holding penalty that Stroud had to like he had to step up in the pocket, threw the ball. He still fired it in there and got a pass, but it was a good holding penalty call. Nubin almost got in there and it wiped out a play. So Tyler Nubin, first start, you know, he was active. So I'm sure he'll continue to get better, man. Man, I got to talk about this Elijah Chapman, man. I tell you, he looks like he's going to be good, man, for a good addition for us. You know, I really do. This guy, now, a lot of y'all might that hasn't watched or maybe not Giant fan might say, Elijah Chapman, who that?
Who?
Well, I tell you who he is. Elijah Chapman is a undrafted free agent this year, and he is really turning heads, man. You saw earlier this week, Giants made a trading Phillips. I believe Phillips to the Cowboys. I still gives me a tingle inside, a creepy feeling inside that we actually made a trade with the Cowboys. But anyway, made a trade with the Cowboys, and to me, when I made a video this week about that, reacted to that news, to me, that was more about how the Giants feel about Chapman making this team. I really feel like he's going to be on this 53, man. And he actually got some snaps with the starters next to Dex today, next to Dex, Tibbs, and Burns, man. And he looked pretty good, man. I saw him push in the pocket, you know, a few times at the point of attack. Wasn't getting pushed around. You know, he's got a short height, but a very low, stocky, low gravity of a build, and he doesn't get pushed back a lot, man. And he's got a motor, man. He's got a motor, what I'll get to in a moment. But he really, I thought, had a couple of good snaps with the starters. He was pushing the pocket, like I said. He was in on that Thibodeau play where he pushed the pocket, you know, and got in there, made Stroud kind of move around in there, you know, and allow guys to make plays around, man, on that D-line, man. Chapman looked pretty good today, and that was against a starting unit. So I think that trade early in the week with Phillips actually showed what the Giants think of him, Mr. Chapman. I think he's going to make this 53. And I thought the play of the night on defense, besides the stop, I should say the star play of the night was the 4th and goal stop on the drive by the defensive line when Dex knocked the ball out and Burns spin move. But I thought a highlight of the night was in the second half. There was a play, the running back on the Texans got past, I think he broke a tackle, got free, was going down the sidelines, looked like he had a chance to have a long touchdown. Man, this man, Elijah Chapman, with the hustle, play of the night, chases him down 30 yards and makes the tackle. Oh, man, right there. And I felt the same way Carl Banks said on the telecast. When I saw that play, I said, no, this guy's making the team, man. He's got to make the team. Those are the kind of plays that get you noticed by coaching staffs out here, man, especially when you're trying to make a name for yourself and make the team. That was a hustle play, and he made it, and, man, that kind of got me excited, man. I ain't even going to front. What I saw tonight, this man and this defensive line, oh, man, they're going to be a problem, man, because he looking like a – straight up dogs out there, bro. Because he is really looking good. And I think the Giants really like what they see. And I'm sure that play basically iced him making the 53, man. So those are the things I like from the defense. The stars of the defense today were the first team defensive line, man. Point of attack looked very well today. So hopefully that continues to get better. Now, get into the things I didn't like, man. Things I didn't like, man, was this secondary. You know, if the Giants secondary is very young, there's talented players in that secondary, I believe. We will see what tier of talent they really are. I think our safeties are very, very talented players. I like Deontay Banks, so I'll get to it in a minute. I think the safeties are going to be, you know, they're young. That's the issue. Jason Pinnock, he's the veteran of the group now. And that tells you how young they really are. And I think he's a good player. I think Tyler Newman's going to be a very good player with time, but he's a rookie. And it's going to be ups and downs. You know, Belton is a ball hawk. There's some depth there. I like what I see out of our safeties. But our corners are going to be an issue because first of all, let me just say, I expect Deontay Banks to make a jump. We need him to make a jump, especially with what's around in this secondary in the corner room. In the cornerback room is very young and inexperienced, and it's not a lot of depth there. And there's some guys that they're not separating themselves to say, hey, I'm going to be the CB2, and it's you guys trying to fight me off. There is nobody. I like Cordell Flott, who, by the way, did not play because he's injured. He's got a quad issue. But let's be honest. In camp, he has not looked great. There's been a lot of talk that he has not looked good, and they handed him the job to start camp, expecting him to make a jump in his third year, and he did not look great. He struggled. He has a lot of up and downs in camp, based on what I've been reading, you know, and now he's hurt. Then you enter McLeod, who they said was earning a right to get snaps to see if he could compete. I didn't see much from him either tonight. And, you know, the other guys that were there. I mean, first of all, I don't like Herndon and Borders and Holmes. They not it. Camp bodies, they're veteran players, I believe. Some of y'all be like, who's that?
Who?
Yeah. When I saw these guys, I was like, why are they here? Camp bodies, man. But, man, when I was looking at them, man.
Father, this guy stinks!
I didn't like it at all, man. So, obviously, they're not going to be on this team. And if they're going to make the team, we're going to have problems, even more problems than we think. I think we're going to have to go out there. Shane's going to have to go out there and address and get a CB2, at least a veteran player that can hold their own or something, you know, because it's not going to be good enough. It's going to be a glaring issue going forward, man. And it's got to get resolved, or it's going to be problems going forward against good teams. But as far as today goes, Deontay Banks had a very up and down game in that first half. There was a play on the drive. He got beat by Collins. Nick Collins beat him. Looked like it could have been called a push off, but you know what? You're a number one corner. You're playing their top receiver. Hey, You got to battle out there. You can't be doing that. And as physical a player as Banks is, he can get beat sometimes, and he got beat on that one. That was a big play for them. Set up their goal line and their red zone offense on that play. He did have better coverage, which I did like the better coverage on the goal line fade in that same drive. So that was a plus. So that's the play I did like from him. So an up and down game for Mr. Banks, but he's got to be better, man. He has got to be better. He is going to be asked to guard a lot of the top receivers on this schedule. And dude, it is not going to be easy any week for him because this schedule has a lot of top receivers in the league, and he's going to have to draw that assignment, and he's going to have to be up to the task. So, I like the play where he stopped that play on the goal line fade. So that was a solid play. So overall, it was like kind of an average game, I thought. But that's the best I got out of the cornerback room today. So those are things that I did not like as far as the secondary. We need to address it and get a CB2 in here, veteran player at that. DJ Davidson is the roster bubble of this team. I don't think he's going to make the 53, to be honest, and I don't see him doing anything. Every time I watch this guy, all I see him do is make bad penalties and get pushed around. Another game where he had no impact, okay, and he played a lot against backup. So if Chapman, who's an undrafted rookie free agent, comes in, is already ahead of you, what does that tell you? He's on the roster bubble, and I don't think he's going to make the 53. And he really just keeps doing what he does. Just some bad penalties, just undisciplined, man. Just undisciplined. This is the story of him every time. So another one of those situations where Davidson, no impact whatsoever. So that's got to be better, man. That's got to be better. But my biggest concern is definitely the secondary. The cornerback room is lacking, man. Joe Shane's going to have to go out and address it, man. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Another thing I did not like today was McFadden getting carted off, and Ryan Anderson had a hamstring injury. He had a hamstring injury, Ryan Anderson. I think he came into the game, and then right away they took him out, I believe, and he had a hamstring. But McFadden is the bigger issue. I would assume that he does not play until week 1, whatever the injury is. They listed it as a hip injury. I saw on the injury report. But in the game, you saw him holding his groin. So I don't know if he got kicked, hit. He was in a pile and all of that, and then came up lame. Hopefully it wasn't a pop, because if it was a pop, we all know he's going to miss significant time. So we'll see that soon and see what happens on that front. But didn't like that. McFadden, listen, I love what I saw from Deontay Johnson last week against Detroit, and it looks like he's going to make the 53. And the Giants and Bowen like him. And there is some thought out there that I think, from what I see, he does fit what Bowen wants to do a lot more than McFadden might fit what he wants to do. I saw McFadden coming off the field on third down. I didn't see Deontay Johnson come off the field on third down last week. And now he got an injury. McFadden is still an important piece to this team on defense. He's a physical player, good run stopper, and he has chemistry with Okereke. So I'm not here to sell him short, but the depth took a blow these last few days with Deontay Johnson now week to week after that solid showing in the first preseason game, and now McFadden going down. And I would imagine they're not going to mess around and just hold McFadden to at least week 1, depending on what the injury status is going forward, which we'll probably find out soon, but not good. Not good at all, man. Not good. So all in all, that was the performance. Giants go down 28-10. Just not what you want to see, but it is what it is, man. It's preseason. It's preseason, and we just have to take it for what that is. But I know there's going to be a lot of people that's going to kill Daniel Jones off this performance. But, guys, listen, and again, when I say this, you're talking to a guy that is not, sold on Daniel Jones. I'm still waiting to see what happens. It's year 6. It's well documented and everything. But let's just not get too crazy, because it is still preseason. The man hasn't played in 9 months, but not a good showing at all. Both can be true. He's got to be better, and it was bad today. But he's missed a lot of time. So let's see going forward. But man, can't have that, man. That play with the pick 6 to me is the worst play I saw. That pick 6, man. I mean, those rookies. That's a rookie mistake. So hopefully we don't see that again. But that was a bad play. Bad play. So all in all, Giants go down 28-10. It just wasn't a good performance today. But there was some good things to take away from it. And I think that's the offensive line and the defensive line, man. That offensive line played well. And I'm telling you guys right now, all we got to do, and remember, Runyon didn't play, guys. Runyon did not play. And the offensive line still moved the ball. And I'm telling you, Brasillo is going to be, and Bowen also I'll throw in there too. But Brasillo is going to be the best acquisition, I believe, in this offseason, man. Because the attention to detail, the improvements, our backups were playing well last week, okay? Most of them were on this team last year, okay? Obviously, healthy offensive line is good, and Runyon, Van Roten, and Illuminor in free agency is going to help. Veteran players who know they know Brasillo, Van Roten, and Illuminor. Runyon's a good guard. Good pass protector. They have talent. And we all know Andrew Thomas is a top 5 to 10 tackle in this league. If JMS can stay healthy and do his job and these guys gel, this offensive line is going to be improved, folks. It's not going to be 85 sack bad. And it's going to get to the point where we cannot use that as excuses of why the offense can't score points. We can't use that as an excuse for Daniel Jones if he doesn't play well. And that is what you want to see as a Giant fan. You want to see offensive line get better. It's been a long time. So I believe, even though I don't see them being like a top 3 to 5 offensive line, but it will be improved. The offense should be better. With these weapons on offense, with the receivers, it should be a good thing for us, okay? So that, to me, seeing the starting offensive line play the way they play, even without Runyon as the only starter in play, they were the stars of the entire game, and that is a big development, and we should be excited about that. So that's what we want to see. Defensive line look good as well too. Okay, so all in all, that's what we have to take from this game. It's only preseason, fellas. We want better results, of course, we do. This is the first game the starters actually play. It might be the last game, depending on what they want to do with the final tune-up against the Jets next week. It's what you want. Is it what you want to see? No, you don't want to see Daniel Jones play like that. You don't want to see the offense not score enough points because, like I said, we've seen this story too many times over the last few years. But the offensive line improvement and defensive line improvement is what you want. So take it for what it is. It's preseason. Let's see what happens. All in all, Giants go down 28-10, and we'll see what we do going forward, man. We'll see what we do. Brian Dable has his work cut out for him, man, as far as, getting these guys and doing the 53 and getting that together with Joe Shane. But I really need to see Joe Shane address cornerback. They need to find a CB2 because I am very alarmed now. I was already alarmed, but now I'm really alarmed. I mean, like, I'm to the point where, hey, man, if you could spend the money on a veteran, even if it's like tight on that cap for this year, hey, do it, man. Do it.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
I'm panicking on this, man. I really am. I don't like what I saw from the CB room, man. We don't have depth there. And Deonte Banks is not separating himself as a definite number one corner that we can just say, all right, he's got this receiver. We'll worry about the rest. No, all of it is still fluent. He's still improving. And he's young. He's only his second year, so we got to give him time. But he's not there yet. And CB2, looking with the kind of depth we got, we're going to have to address it. So let's hope Joe Shane can find an answer because Herndon, Borders, and that other guy, they're not it. So all in all, 28-10 loss. We'll go from there. Next week we play the Jets, and that'll be that. So we'll see what happens. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Born for Sports. I would really appreciate that. Shout out to my Section 330 crew. Anybody that, and I've said it many times on NYG Lieutenant Show, if anybody wants to come to week 1 or any game this season, hey, man, come stop by the tailgate, JA Section 330 crew tailgate. It's all love. Come through. Come see our people. Chop it up. Have a good time. Can't wait to see you if you do make it. And shout out to my Section 330 crew. So all in all, like and subscribe to Born for Sports. I am out.